Put on the kettle, kids. It's snippet time. Hello, gals, and welcome to Sober Living Snippets, where we live alcohol-free so we can heal those relationships, feel youthful again, and ditch regret and shame. So every time I start this show, I say heal those relationships, but we don't talk a lot about it. And that, my dear, is the focus of today's episode. But before we go there, I am Becca Jacobson, and I am your snippet producer. That's the first time I've called myself that. If you're new around here, welcome, my dear, to Snippet Land, where everything is just a little bit juicier. And that's the first time I ever said that. We're on a roll today. But seriously, kids, we do need to talk about the relationships. We need to dig in. I'm going to spend more time on this in the coming weeks because it's very important. But today, let's just start at ground zero. Ground zero of relationships is, get ready for it, the damage we do. Now, look, it's not all bubble gum and lollipops, and I don't deliver fluff. I'm going to talk to you a lot about how to heal those relationships, but we need to start at ground zero and face the facts of the damage that we have done in our lives. We have to get honest about this. I speak to some women who are not really being honest with themselves. Well, I might drink too much, but so does he. Or he doesn't drink anymore, but back in the day, he did a lot of damage with his drinking. Hold on a second there. Whatever they've done in the past is 100% irrelevant. We are here to step up and take responsibility for our action. And there is never a place in our significant relationships where we compare our behavior with someone else's and give ourselves a pass because they might have done something worse themselves. Wait a minute, stop and think about that. We're not here to do fluffy recovery. We are here to say, holy crap, this is what I'm doing to the people who love me and the people that I love. And the past is irrelevant. Their behavior is irrelevant. Anything that's ever come from them is irrelevant. The only thing we look at is the damage we are doing. Why? Because it's the only thing we can control. The only thing we can control. And when we start stepping up and behaving ourselves and showing up for life and being the partner or the parent or the mother or the grandmother that we're supposed to be, other people start changing around us. But the most important, the first step that we have to take is admitting the shit that we have caused. Now, I get that this can be difficult. You know, the ironic thing about this is one of the most difficult parts of this is when we have a partner that is endlessly forgiving and endlessly patient. That would be my husband. It was like, I'm like, could you just get mad at me once? He never got mad at me once. All those years, I know he got frustrated, but more than anything else, he was hurt, worried and hurt. Worried about me hurting myself and that I was hurting our relationship and putting alcohol ahead of our relationship. But he never got angry. He never screamed and yelled. He never threatened to leave. So that's one type of reaction. Then, of course, there's the reaction of the type that do get angry, and you can't blame them. How many times we've broken the same promise? This is the last time. This is the last time. This is the last time. Well, I mean, not everybody's a saint. Not, by the way, that my husband's a saint. It's just his way of responding to stress. He's not an angry type of person. He pulls inward and gets very quiet. And that is just as painful as someone yelling at you. Trust me. When they're just sitting there feeling hurt and you feel like a big piece of garbage because of your behavior. But the most important thing we need to do right now is face the facts that our drinking causes very deep, painful cuts in those who love us. Now, another thing I hear is that our children will actually say to us, will you be drinking today, Mom? Or, Mom, I'm sorry, but I don't want you to see the kids because you've been drinking too much lately. Any of this ringing a bell? So some of us have children still at home. Some of us have grandchildren we want to see. And because of our inability to stand up and decide it's time to change my life, it's time to follow through, it's time to get the help I need, we continue to hurt them. We continue to tell ourselves the never-ending lie that I can do this alone, I don't need any help, and this is the last time. My dear, it's not the last time. If you've ever said this is the last time and it wasn't, it's not the last time. Not until you step up and do something different. How many times have we talked about this? It'll never be the last time until you take an action you've never taken before. Let me say that again. It will never be the last binge or the last drink until you take action you've never taken before. That means waking up and feeling like shit, so shitty, shittier than you've ever felt before. And you say to yourself, I've never felt this horrible. This is the last time. That doesn't count. That's just the same shit framed differently inside your own head. If we don't start recognizing our own lies, we're going to waste more time. Until you start recognizing your own lies and the damage you're doing to the people who love you, your broken-hearted partner, your broken-hearted children, your broken-hearted grandchildren, not to mention, what about our employers? How many broken promises to the employer? How many sick days have you used and abused that you didn't need to use and abuse? How is that for showing up for life? I know I'm being hard on you today, but we must face the facts before we can turn around and look at the solution. And I mean, the end of the day, the solution is simple. I just said it. We have to do something we've never done before. There's one thing I know you've never done before. Not all of you, but most of you. And that is get on a call with me, sit down, and look at the solution that would work for you. Because women who get on the call with me have the solution. They still listen to the snippets, so hello, gals. There's a percentage of you out there I have met, and your life has changed. I know that. Those of you who haven't, there's an alternative. You could also get on the phone with some other coach, but why bother? I'm the best. This is snippet land after all. Listen, gals, I'm quite serious. If we've let our loved ones down more than once, that's unacceptable. And I know that most of us have let them down hundreds of times. And so today I want you to face that. Even though you've been forgiven, even though it's been resolved for now, even though he or she or they may have done something shitty in the past, does not give you a free pass to misbehave. If they're drinking, doesn't give you a pass. We're talking about your life, not theirs. So if you have a partner and your excuse for drinking is because they're drinking and they're getting nasty, how is that for 7-year-old behavior? Well, it's okay because they're being an asshole too, so I can be an asshole. Step up, girl. Wake up. Grow up. That's not how we live our best lives. I'm not talking about you taking responsibility for your partner. I'm talking about you taking responsibility for hurting other people and yourself. Every time you break a promise and hurt the people who love you, you're hurting yourself. This is why in my coaching program, we have to spend the most time helping women self-forgive. Helping women build back up their self-trust and their self-love and kindness for themselves. We come into programs like mine and we don't like ourselves, and it's because of the behaviors I've been describing in the last 10 minutes. So the first thing you need to do is stop and take an action you've never taken before, and that would be calling Becca. Booking a call with me, and I will help you find the quickest, easiest pathway out of this mess. So listen, gals, I know that was hard to hear, but we can't start healing until we get honest, brutally honest with ourselves. It is not okay to hurt other people because we want to have a drink or because we can't control our behavior. You're not to blame for your drinking, but you are responsible for doing something about it. Did you hear me? I've said that before, but probably not often enough. You're not to blame for your inability to control your drinking, but you are 100% responsible for doing something about it, and you are 100% responsible for the damage you do when you refuse to do something about it. And that includes me, gals. If you can only imagine the damage I did before my 52nd year, that's a lot of living, a lot of damage, and I take responsibility for all of it. And I've healed from it, and you can too. And that is what we need to do. The first step is saying, what am I doing? I'm not just hurting myself here. I'm hurting people who love me. And then recognizing that the same old will not work. The only way you're going to get through this is to do something different that you've never done before. Be honest, how many times have you told yourself, I'll cut back, only to find yourself pouring another glass? How many times have you woken up with regret, promising it was the last time? As I've said, nothing changes until you decide it's time. If any of this hits home today and you're tired of feeling stuck in this cycle, the time has come for us to talk. Reminding you, I offer free one-on-one calls where you can share your story, and together we'll create a personalized plan to finally break free. And because I know that taking this step is big, I know how nerve-wracking it is, I offer everyone who shows up at their call a $200 restaurant certificate you can use in restaurants right near your home. You'll soon be enjoying a night out, completely in control, fully present, and no more regret and no more damage. But of course, I have a limited number of calls I can take in any given month and a limited number of certificates. So open up the app you're using to listen to my voice right now, go to the show notes, and tap the link that says Book Your Call with Becca. That's going to take you directly to my personal calendar where you can pick a time that works for you before they're all gone. This will be the decision that changes everything for you. And then the pain and suffering can stop for everyone. Thanks for grabbing your snippet today, gals. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back tomorrow so we can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.